How's everybody doing? Hope you're all well. We're going to take a look at this Fender Mexican Standard. These are around a long time. I think since Fender started producing in Mexico in the early 90s. The Mexican Standard was a budget made Strat and Telly and other guitars from the Fender range. So, you know, if you went into the history of Fender, these actually play a big role because, number one, they're budget and they're actually very common, and they are very popular as well, even with seasoned and professional players. Reason being is that I guess they're cheap, they're good quality, and they do exactly what they say on the tin. They get the job done. A lot of people buy them as backup guitars for live gigs. A lot of people use them all their lives. Famous people, professionals. Yeah, it's a kind of, how will I put it, a hybrid really, if you think about it. It's got the vintage looks, but it also has some modern, and when I say modern, I mean going back to the last 40 years. So, basically, I mean, there's a lot of these out there. If you go onto any advertising site this minute, you'll see some out there for sale, all different colors, all different types, some with humbuckers, some with whatever, with everything. They're very popular. This one is, I guess, a 06, so this is kind of more or less the last decade of production, because they were replaced in 2018 by the Player Series, and the Player Series Strats more or less copy the American Standard, which had 22 frets, the 2-point trim. That's it really. It was kind of a copy of that guitar for a budget price of around, I don't know, 600 and something euros, which was good. They also, you know, were upgraded to meet the needs of modern players. So anyway, the Mexican Standard, this is probably, you know, one of the last of them really revamped. Actually, no, there was one more after this. The one after this had the 70s logo, and the serial number then was on the back. So this one is from the mid 00s, and it boasts a vintage style bridge, 6 saddles, bent steel, so that's, you know, more or less a vintage configuration there on the bridge. You have 3 single coil pickups. These are bar magnet ceramic types, and earlier models, I'd say early 2000s, had Alnico pickups, but they you know, they change all the time. You know, there's all different types, but the bar magnets are very handy in a way that they will allow the guitar to be used with high gain amplifiers and pedals and stuff like that. They give you a very kind of stable, solid sound, because I always found with Strats, especially in the 2nd and 4th position, when you're trying to drive them, there's kind of a fizziness that I actually don't like, and the actual ceramics seem to be able to combat that and give you very full, smooth chords, you know, with lots of dynamics. And yeah, it's just, you know, apples and oranges. You either like bar magnets or you don't, but this makes this a very versatile guitar then as well. So it's kind of appealing to the entry level. You know, after this you have USA. That's really where it was going with mechs anyway. Now things have changed in the last 5 years. yeah, you've got kind of almost a guitar for every price point. So yeah, but anyway, these are cool because I like these because number one, they have 21 frets, modern C, 9.5 radius. It's a nice thick neck. You know, it's actually not too thick, not too thin. You know, it's very nice. And you know, the downside is that it has the ping or the shallow style sealed tuners. But you know, these were coming from the 80s Fender USA guitars, so you know, they were sold as being more stable and they had a higher ratio and stuff like that compared to Clusons and stuff like that. You know, you can retrofit the classic gear if you like. You know, this one has a little logo on the back for the 60th anniversary. It means nothing really. It doesn't make the guitar more expensive, by the way. And full thickness trim block, type of a cast, I reckon. And this one is in 3 color bursts, and it's actually a nice burst as well. It's quite heavy though. I mean, these are Alder. It's actually quite heavy. There's also been lots and lots of special runs. I've had a good few of these. I've had one in Midnight Wine, which was in mint condition. I don't know, I sold it. I had a blue one as well, electric blue or midnight blue, I can't think what it was, with a rosewood. That's, yeah, sorry, that's one thing. I think like these had rosewood up to, I'd say, nearly the end of their life. It's the Player series put the Pau Ferro on. I think most Mexican guitars now have Pau Ferro, which is a shame. It's a deterrent for me. I've said that before. But these are fairly good. I mean, you know, you can buy one pretty cheaply, although it's hard to find them very cheap now because people seem to be putting them up for the 500-600 euro mark, which is, you know, to be honest with you, I think 400 is enough for it. But for 400, you're getting an exceptional guitar. They are better than Squiers. You know, I know people rave on about Squier Classic Vibe and they say they're the best thing of all. But these are definitely better than the Classic Vibe. The quality control is a bit better. You know, you've got, you know, nicer frets. These are medium jumbos. These used to have smaller frets as well. Before, I think, 2006, they were kind of upgraded and they were given hotter pickups as well. But the Classic Vibes, in my mind, are good, but they suffer from having quite thin necks, and that's for people with smaller hands, which means younger people, they're kind of going for the, you know, the teenage market, you know. Anyway, that's another issue, but these are quite cool. You know, technically it's a vintage looking Strat. They're very, very, very good. You could upgrade them, you can do what you like. I mean, if the hardware is good on them, they come with CTS pots and the Oak Grigsby switch. Now the bridge pickup isn't wired to the tone pot like they did with the Player series, but you can do that yourself, you know, or get somebody to do it for you. Yeah, but yeah, they're workhorses, and like I said, you can you know, you might walk into a shop sometime and find a bargain with these. You know, I've done it myself, and you know, it's a pretty cool instrument, and like I said, these will last for years. And you know, if you don't want to shell out for USA, I mean, there's not a massive amount of difference between these and, we'll say, the entry-level USA. I mean, it's kind of hard to justify the price. Okay, you do get ceramics. If you don't like ceramics, well, then you're already at a loss. I think that the Player series has the, since they put the 2-point on it, that deters me as well. I just don't like it. I don't like the 2-point bridges. I think they look weird on a Strat. They look really strange. That's why I never really liked the American Standard. And obviously the American Standard Telecaster as well had 6 saddles. Something I never liked. But you know, that's just me. It doesn't really, you know, makes no difference. You're not going to notice it that much. Like, but yeah, they were aimed at professionals, I guess. 6 saddles, faster intonation, but I can get a 3 saddle to intonate bang on anyway, so I wouldn't really worry about that. But that's it, yeah. And there's not much else to say about these. I'm sure that anyone watching this video will have had one of these in their day, because they're very, very plentiful. There's millions of them out there. I think in the 90s the quality control was hit and miss. Yeah, there's a kind of a rabbit hole if you want to go down, because I think the factory as well burnt down, I think in February 1994, sorry, in Baja, whatever you call it, or in Sanida, whatever. I don't know. Yeah, so yeah, it's one of these things for forums, what happened when, whatever the hell. With Fender, there's a huge history to investigate, but it's part of the fun. But I will say that these are pretty cool guitars. They've come in different colors over the years. So, you get yourself a bargain if you get one of these. Yeah, they really do, they're nice to play. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe and take care.